Hello all. In this video, we shall discuss about the relationship between India and Bangladesh. Basically, India had extended all kinds of diplomatic, military and humanitarian support during Bangladesh's liberation war, and that had played a very important role towards Bangladesh's independence. And if you look at the relationship between India and Bangladesh today, it is basically a role model for relations between two neighboring countries. And the relationship between India and Bangladesh is deeper than any other strategic partnership that exists between two other countries of the world. And the relationship between India and Bangladesh goes beyond a strategic partnership because it is a partnership based on sovereignty, equality, trust, and understanding. We shall now look into the new ties. We shall now look into the new trends in India-Bangladesh ties. And if we look into the last decade, we can observe that, the relationship between India and Bangladesh has entered a new era of cooperation. It has moved much beyond the historical and cultural ties that the both nations have had, and it has become more assimilated in areas of trade, connectivity, energy and defense. And you can understand this, or this can be reflected in the various events that we are going to discuss. The first one is military cooperation. Basically, Bangladesh has uprooted many anti-India insurgency elements from its borders, and right now India-Bangladesh border is one of the most peaceful borders in the region, and this has basically helped India to deploy its military resources to its more contentious borders elsewhere. And also Bangladesh had handed over many of India's most wanted criminals, and also India had accepted an international tribunal verdict in favor of Bangladesh that resolved a 40-year-old maritime dispute, and that has also resulted in building confidence and trust between both the nations. The second major event is the land boundary agreement. The border disputes, the disputes regarding land between two nations is not very rare. It is a very common phenomenon, and them not reaching on any mutual agreement is also very common. But in a very rare event, India and Bangladesh have basically solved their border issues, and they have done that by ratifying the historic land boundary agreement 2015. And in that agreement, enclaves were swapped, allowing the inhabitants to choose their country of residence. And basically the inhabitants were given the choice of freedom to choose whether they would like to be citizens of India or Bangladesh, and that has also led to building confidence between the two nations. If we are to look into the trade relations between India and Bangladesh, we can see that Bangladesh today is India's biggest trading partner in South Asia, and the exports to Bangladesh amount to some $9.21 billion and imports amount to $1.04 billion. India has also offered duty-free access to multiple Bangladeshi products. And when you look at the cooperation from the development aspect, we can see that India has extended 3 lines of credit to Bangladesh and has also extended a support of $8 billion for the construction of roads, railways, basically a lot of physical infrastructure. There is improved connectivity between the two nations. A direct bus service between Kolkata and Agartala has been established, and also Bangladesh also allows the shipment of goods from its Mongla and Chattogram seaports carried by road, rail and waterways to Agartala. If we are to look into the new areas of engagement between the two nations, we can see that the Bangladeshis make up a large portion of tourists in India. They also account for more than 35% of India's international medical patients and contributes to more than 50% of India's revenue from medical tourism. We have been so far talking about the good things about India Bangladesh ties, but obviously the ties between both the nations also has its own share of challenges, and one major challenge in with respect to that is the unsolved Teesta water sharing issue. That is one major challenge that is being faced by, or that is adversely affecting the relationship between both the nations. Then there is the problem of illegal migration. A lot of Bangladeshi civilians are being killed at the border because there are many people who are trying to illegally migrate to India, and 2020 saw the highest number of border shootings by the BSF. Then there's the problem of NRC and CAA, basically the National Register of Citizens and the Citizen Amendment Act, that reflects poorly on India Bangladesh relations. Then there is one major factor, which is the China factor. Despite its neighborhood first policy, India has been losing its influence in the region to China. Countries like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Maldives, which are traditionally considered to be the best allies of India, are now basically tilting towards China because of China's massive investment in these countries with respect to infrastructure, defense, etc. And China, with the help of its checkbook diplomacy, is also including Bangladesh, and it also enjoys significant economic and defense relations with Bangladesh also, and therefore that is one major challenge that India Bangladesh relationship faces as of now. So far, we had discussed the challenges between India Bangladesh ties, and now we move on to look as to how these challenges can be addressed. And first way in which we can address this challenge is basically Bangladesh is the region's fastest growing economy, including social indicators. So it is growing also because of the fact that its social indicators are also improving, and that is something that the other countries, including India, can learn from Bangladesh. And this is a vital link with which India can realize the full potential of its Act East policy. Now, regarding water sharing, the Teesta water dispute has been going on for a very long period of time now. And when all the countries desire to be recognized as equal, the smaller countries want the bigger nations to take more responsibility for protecting this equality, and therefore India must play a pioneering role in India Bangladesh relations. And trade could also be more balanced between India and Bangladesh if non-tariff barriers from the Indian side could be removed. Now, as India and Bangladesh are celebrating the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic relations, the two countries bonded by nature, history, culture should be bold enough to go for the new areas of cooperation. We now move on to discuss the model question with respect to the topic that we have been discussing so far. The first model question for your practice is: Prime Minister's recent visit to Bangladesh has provided a boost to the bilateral relations. In this context, highlight the recent developments in the India-Bangladesh relationship. What are the straining points and major issues in the bilateral relations? Explain. Question number 2. Bilateral ties between India and Bangladesh are providing lessons for better India-Pakistan relations. Comment. I hope you found this session valuable. If you liked the video, kindly do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.